Well, I'm back here in my man cave, and I'm playing through my BE100, which I've had on the video before, and I had my Telly before, and I talked about how I wasn't crazy about the BE100 clean channel. It was good, but it wasn't great. Well, I've done some tweaking, and I've got my this is actually a Mark Jenny Strat from back in the old days before he even really had MJT going. Really super lightweight ash body. And I think this is a USA custom guitar neck. But anyway, Mark did the finish on it. A friend of mine named Spencer Deaton did these pickups. Got a Callahan bridge, and this is a smoking little Parkcaster Strat. But anyway, that being said, I've got a setting that I think, and a setup that I think really works well with the BE100 in order to get a cool clean tone and a cool lead tone, especially if you're an Eric Johnson fan, which I am. But listen, this is in the second position. I've got a Strymon El Capistan going in the loop, and the loop in the Friedman stuff is fantastic. I think it uses George Metropolis's loop. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's what's going on, and it's transparent. That no tone suckage, no extra compression. But now to the that's a cool sound. Now it's dead nuts clean. There's no hair going on. But I think that's a really usable clean sound. Now, staying in the clean channel with that very no setting changes and not going over to the BE mode, I've got a Dover drive in front of the amp. So the L cap's in the loop, and I've got a Dover drive in front of the amp. And now listen to this. I think this is cool. I could be, you can leave in the comments section and say I'm crazy, but now listen. I think that sounds great. It's not falling apart. The Dover drive's been called kind of a halfway overdrive, halfway fuzz. I think that's fair, but it doesn't fall apart like a lot of fuzzes do. I mean, it's not the tightest thing in the world, but it's not, typical fuzz is just really woofy and woolly. Now, I've got an old big box full tone 70s, which is modeled on Eric, the same chips that Eric uses in his fuzz faces. And to give you now I'm over on the BE mode, set not a crazy amount of gain, kind of like what on the Telecaster video. And now this is the 70 fuzz into the BE channel. flub that. But you get the idea. That's a cool sound. And so now you've got kind of two options. Now, this isn't a budget way to go. This is all kind of expensive stuff. But now, the cool thing about that is if you're running, now the BE, again, it's a lot of amp. I mean, even used, you're talking about real close with shipping and everything, probably right around $3,000, maybe a little under that. But in new, 3,600 plus tax. So this isn't a cheap setup, but it's a cool setup. And I think you could get most of these tones pretty close with the small box. I'm not using the HBE mode at all here, and the only switch I've got is the tone switch in front, which is supposed to do kind of the Van Halen tone thing. It's a real subtle change. Matter of fact, I'll flip it out, and you know, it's sorry, it only works on the dirty channel, and this is a more true Marshall tone stack with that disengaged. A little more mid-range, a little more bark. I don't know exactly what the switch is doing. I think it's scooping a little bit, but I don't know. I haven't asked Dave about it. But now Eddie's amp, contrary to popular belief, was bone stock, but they used a few different values in the and I think that's what that switch does. It gets it over to kind of where Eddie's 68 was. But anyway, that's with it disengaged, and now this is with the fuzz. So it's a little more focused, a little more true vintage, true vintage, you know, as this amp is set up. And anyway, I'm just going to go back to the clean. Anyway, cool. So, as a reminder, BE100, here, I'll flip this around. Here's the setup. So, there's the BE100. I'm running through this Bogner 212, Scumbag M75s, the old blue frames. I think the black frames now, I'd love to switch out. I think they sound a little bit better. They've got a little bit heavier magnet that's true to vintage spec. I would need to talk to Jim at Scumbag to make sure on that. But anyway, so there's the Bogner 212, which is basically half of a 412. And then, make sure I'm shooting this right. You've got the full tone 70, the Dover drive, and then the L cap that's in the loop. So the Dover drive and the 70 are in front. And then this is another little secret that I think is key to getting a good tone with these the big 100 watt, 50 and 100 watt tube heads is I'm able to run my master. There's my settings. I'm able to run my master at almost 4 o'clock, but I put a 25 kilo ohm Ernie Ball volume pedal in the loop, so that acts as my master. And what that does is it gets the master of the amp circuit out of that yuck squishy zone. I've done that with an SLO. It works great. Bogner Shiva, Ecstasy, and it's just a great way to add kind of your own master volume and get the amp breathing a little bit more. Is it perfect? Is it the same as running the amp full up? No. But it gets you closer to that tone at a manageable level. All right. Hope y'all have a good one. Bye.